Hello everybody, welcome to Rugby Chat. It's 11 a.m. on a Tuesday, March the 10th here in New Zealand. And wow, what a big show I've got for you today. We've got everything from Super Rugby to sevens, to world rankings, to Six Nations, and even a bit of local club rugby that was played over the past weekend here in New Zealand. Namely the Spillane Cup in the for the Maris clubs, which is a traditional pre-season tournament here in New Zealand. I'll be awaiting the boys to come on, hopefully, and hopefully I haven't heard anything from them. So hopefully they'll be floating around very shortly. And also to everybody on YouTube watching this, thank you for watching. And also don't forget that we're also on the old TikTok, and everything has been brought to you by Foursquare. Franz Joseph on the state highway down there. Visit them, get all your groceries in before the petrol prices all rise, and or go and see what their specials are on their Facebook page. So good morning to Josh and the teams. So I will just jump straight into it all anyhow. And what we'll do is we'll have a look. I actually prefer this side. There we go. We'll have a look at last week's results. And my golly gosh, yes and no. I was hoping the Crusaders were going to do a little bit better. But on Friday night, we saw the return of Damian McKenzie and the Chiefs. And the Chiefs far too strong for the Moana Pacifica side, who must be scratching their heads. They started off with a bit of a hiss and a roar, as mentioned last week, and but yeah, they are sort of a bit more sort of being brought back down to earth, going down by 57-24. And well, the Chiefs, they've bounced back big time. Well, could you say big time? I mean, they had a narrow defeat to the Crusaders. But hey, they're back in the winning ways. The Waratahs hosted the mighty Hurricanes, and well, just good timing really, because I just want to hear from Mr. Mike Sheehan. Good morning, Mike. What did you think of the Hurricanes? Whoop whoop! Come on.
Yeah, morning. Oh yeah, no, good. Yep. Yeah, they finally got a win on the board. I thought they played really well and they showed some pretty good cohesive structure. So, yeah, we're away laughing.
Are they champions yet?
Oh, it's a bit early doors, isn't it?
I don't know, because I was just saying, Damian McKenzie back for the Chiefs. A few of the big guns coming back into the fold. The Waratahs, though, I mean, you know, we thought, yeah, how long can they keep their little run going? And we'll get to the table in a minute, but they're starting to slide just like last year, aren't they? Because I mean, you could argue here it was a clean sweep by the Kiwi teams over the Aussie teams. If you count Moana Pacifica, I don't know if you count them as Australian or New Zealand or Pacific or whatever. But yeah, but hey, huge win, 2 big scores on Friday night. Saturday though. Bit of a thriller with the Highlanders getting up 39-31 over the Force. What did you think of that match? You would have been following it closely.
Yeah, no, it was a great game of rugby. Great game of running rugby from the Highlanders, particularly the outside backs, Jane Lowe, Caleb Tangitau, under the roof and the sun and mighty Dunners in front of the zoo. No, it was a great game and they needed to win that, and they won. So that was good. That was the start of my good weekend.
Yeah, well, I sort of was going well as well. I was 3 from 3, and wow. And then I went for the Crusaders. You've heard of the hot cold tap, haven't you? I mean, what's happening? They have that impressive win against the Chiefs away, and then they let the evil Empire get up and just dominate them.
Yeah, they were pretty much dominated, weren't they? They made a lot of uncharacteristic errors. Discipline let them down at times, obviously, with that yellow card, and yeah, they didn't look like Super Rugby champions of last year playing that game. That's for sure.
No, I mean there'll be some head scratching going on down there at Rugby League Park and in Christchurch as they're doing their training sessions, because I mean, sure, the Blues had Beauden Barrett back after his paternity leave. But in saying that, I've got to keep with the faith, because he was a Hurricane forever. He had a pretty good first game back, didn't he not?
Yep, both him and Damien McKenzie had good games. Just slotted back in like they'd never been away. Obviously, Barrett was named on the bench, but a late change there. Perifetta was ruled out, so Bodie got the start and he played 80 minutes.
Now, have you noticed that recently with the teams, here are your starting lineups, especially with the fantasy side of stuff, because they will tell you this person's starting, right? And if this person plays 1 to 60 minutes, you get a point. Whoopee, right? If they bend over and do up their left shoelace, they get another point. You know, all the stupid baby ways they have the points. Have you? I mean, most times subs come on around what, the 60-minute mark, right?
Yeah, normally, yep.
So I personally did not pick Beauden Barrett because I knew he wasn't going to pick up a point for me in the first 60 minutes. And was he going to pick up like 100 points for me in that last 20 minutes? Probably not, unless he went on a blitz and scored 4 tries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the skull, because I'm going to call it out, the skullduggery that's going on here with team lineups being named on a Thursday. And most of the time you can guarantee that come Saturday, someone's got injured or someone's not playing or oh, we're just swapping the bench around or we're going to change the front row. Is it because the teams are waiting to see who they've got coming up against them and then making those changes? I mean, shouldn't those teams be locked in place? Because for people who want to have a flutter at the TAB or just, you know, want to see Beauden Barrett play a whole 80 minutes, it is a bit of a worry, is it not?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, like sometimes there's circumstances that are out of everyone's control that they've had, you know, they've obviously had to make late changes. But ideally, you know, if you name a team on a Wednesday by whatever time it is, 4 p.m., it should be, you know, it should be locked in for, it should be locked in for the game unless there's an injury or someone's picked up an injury on the captain's run or whatever. But yeah, I got no interest in that fantasy stuff. I'm too busy for that sort of carry on. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just the fantasy stuff. It's also for, as I said, the guys that want to have a punt. You know? I mean, if people had known Beauden Barrett was going to start, not saying he would have got the first try or anything like that, but if he was paying $20 to score the first try and he was on the bench and you took that $20, you would be laughing if he started the game and scored the first try at $20.
Yeah, 100%. It's a good payday, isn't it?
It certainly is. Unlike Will Britton, who just got home by a nose. I don't know if you watched the NZB Kiwi, but that was I actually
no. She's old Stephen Marsh has got himself another champion filly there. She's I think from what I've actually watched quite in-depth interviews about the filly and about Stephen's opinion of her, and I think he's got the best horse he's ever had. Yeah, it just shows the class of the filly having to dig deep and beat Belle Chevelle on the line by a nose.
Well, it is Rugby Chat, Rugby Racing and Beer. Hey, we've covered it all today. I have beer sitting over here. But the game of the round had to be the Brumbies Reds, did it not? Did you watch it? I mean, I was sitting there thinking the game started 2 hours late due to lightning, which is a new thing because there's been lightning since Adam was a kid. But in the recent years, they have this safety thing for lightning. But then you do see the video of lightning hitting the grandstand. Question one, okay, the players aren't allowed on the field because of lightning. They might get hit. Question two, what about all the fans that are in the grandstand waiting for the players to come out on the field? I hope they're protected by the grandstand that got hit by lightning. I mean, the conditions weren't great, so okay, fair enough. But the Brumbies had done to them what they had done to the Blues the previous week and conceded that real late try to Carter Gordon. Did they crumble under the pressure, or are we seeing the red side that we predicted pre-season starting to come to the fore?
Well, it was fair to say the Brumbies were under pressure in that last play. It was a great set of phases to finally score that last try. They were outnumbered on the left there, but Reds, well, it's probably a bit too early for me to make a call on what they're doing this season, but the Brumbies, I thought the Brumbies had every opportunity to win it and hold on, but, that's the game of rugby in the end. But, they're still up the top of the table, so they'll need to win a game this weekend to solidify, well, not solidify, but keep themselves up there out of trouble, I guess.
Yeah, well, the great thing is you mentioned table and voila, there we go. I have the table. So the Brumbies do still hold on to the top there by a couple of points from the Chiefs who climb, who are 2 points ahead of the Hurricanes who climb, who are ahead of the Blues who climb. And the poor old Waratahs have slipped from second place down to fifth. And of course, the Reds are still sitting there. Oh yeah, no change. They're still sixth from last week, but they're only there on point differential with the Highlanders, only by a couple of penalties is the difference there. And of course, I've got a game in hand as well, Queensland. So that's going to help them out. New South Wales, no, who's got the bye this week? Oh, can't remember. Someone's got the bye. I'll come to that in a minute. But I think it's Fiji Drua got the bye this week. No, they haven't. They're playing.
No, they haven't.
Oh, bugger. Okay, I have to pull out the big guns here. I had that in my head, who had the bye, and I just can't remember for the life of me. Who we got? Hurricane Force, brilliant. I still can't bloody see. Blues, Chiefs. I can't even see who's got the bloody bye. Oh, well, we'll come to that in a minute. Crusaders, Waratahs, Force, Brumbies, Moana, Blues. Tell me who I'm missing here. I can't figure this out. We've got Hurricanes, Force, Drua, Brumbies, Crusaders, Highlanders. Oh, the Chiefs.
No, okay.
Okay, the Chiefs have a week off. So Damien McKenzie comes back and then has another week off. Well, that's handy. Play one game and have a week off. But so as you can see there, though, the bottom three. Are we seeing the bottom three making up the numbers for the rest of the season? The Drua, the Force, and Moana Pacifica.
Well, the equation's pretty simple. They need to start winning games and get up the table. Otherwise, they'll be down there. I think this is pretty much straightforward.
Oh,
there is the mirror friends.
Yeah, a bit late coming in, and he's also saying, "I'm calling ladder fraud on the Waratahs. Watch them slide down the table." Well, yeah, they did that last year, Josh, and it's also good to hear from the Mayor of South Westland. It's awesome to have him on the show. But yeah, they do have to start winning, and it's not going to get any easier because, as we just mentioned here, coming up, the Moana, they've got the Blues, the Force have got the Hurricanes, and the Drua have got the Brumbies. So, yeah, it's definitely going to end up, I think, if I blow this up a little bit, this is going to be the teams, I think, that will be battling it out. The Waratahs will be replaced. I think they will slip. They've lost Suali for the rest of the season, which is a big impact on the Waratahs as well. He's gone down injured. Yeah, the Highlanders and Crusaders could easily replace one of them, and hopefully the Blues go down the arse as well. So, yeah, no, that's okay. I'll continue. So in the Player of the Year awards, Jorgensen, he's just still, flying the flag for the Waratahs there, picking up another few points and leading the top of the table. It is interesting to see only a couple of actual Kiwi franchises there with Caleb Clark and Quinn Tupaia in that top 6 or 7. Donaldson, yeah, he's been okay, but should he be in second place? I mean, he hasn't done a lot. I've been a bit, there was a bit of magic about Donaldson last year, and I didn't get that. Caleb Clark, okay, he did score 3 tries against the Crusaders. You can't sort of sneeze at that. But Jorgensen is on fire, definitely going to be one of the, since he signed that new contract to be a Wallaby for the next 3 years or whatever it is, he made every post a winner, eh?
Yep, no, he's definitely a class player, and he's got speed to burn. He can just run around people, as we've seen in the early stages of the competition.
Oh, I know. So, and your favourite part, this is apparently the team of the week. Renata, who I dropped, Taylor, Newell, who I had. You had Williams and Walker Leary. He had a solid game there for the Hurricanes at lock. Kale was making every post a winner. Lasanga, he had a good game. And Tupo Taoloa, I don't know why he picked up 88 points, but I don't know, can't work it out. And in the backs, we had, they reckon the tops were Wershon and Carter Gordon. Again, how did Carter Gordon score? Oh, he did get a try and kick a couple of penalties, but this is what fantasy thing doesn't make sense. Bowden Barrett, I think, had a better game again than Carter Gordon. You know what I mean? He assisted, he did a lot of the try assists. He led the game. It just doesn't make sense to me. Leroy Carter is still showing he's got pace to burn. Sullivan, yeah, he's going well. Lowe, he had a great game with the Highlanders. But yeah, it's a bit of fun, but you got to look at it sometimes and go, how did they get those? Because I can't figure it out. At one point there, I had Lonergan as my first 5. He had already scored like 3 or 4 conversions or something, and he was still on 2 points. I'm thinking, hey, but argue. So anyway, we'll head to this week before we come back, of course, on Thursday with our team lists. But at Napier, the Hurricanes, they'll be taking on the Western Force up in Napier. Hopefully the weather will be fine. I know it will be because it's someone's birthday on Friday, and I'll just be happy with the win.
Yep, no, I'm going to pick Hurricanes by 15 plus in this game. I think they'll be too classy for the Force. Whether or not Zach Lomax is starting or not, it won't make a hell of a lot of difference.
Well, yeah, I did see that. He signed over from the Parramatta Eels, wasn't it? And said that he will be available. I saw somewhere in the last 24 hours that he is available now to play for the Western Force. So it'll be interesting. One man does not make our team. We know that.
Yep.
Literally, Suali was meant to make the Waratahs the greatest thing since sliced bread, and now he's gone. So, it will be an interesting one. I'm definitely going Hurricanes by 20 because I just do all the time. If it's the Hurricanes, mighty yellow and black. So yeah, it'll be a fun game to watch, and hopefully a huge crowd at McLean Park there in Napier on Friday night. So on Saturday, we move on, and they're playing at Bar, the Fiji Drua versus the Brumbies. From memory, he says, I don't think we've ever had a Super Rugby game played in Bar, B-A.
Where is it? It must be in Queensland somewhere, is it? Perth or something? Or?
Oh, no, it's in Fiji.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe after the mud bath on Churchill Park in Lautoka, they've had to change venues. But yeah, obviously hard for teams to go over there and win. But I'm expecting the Brumbies to win by 12 and over.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I didn't think about that because it will take a while for that ground at Lautoka to come back right again. So that's on at 4:30. But I don't know if people around the world watch the weather, but I just feel it's got to be one of the wettest Pacific summers / winters / autumns, or whatever you want to call it, we're in. I've seen up there forever, because every time they say what the weather in the Pacific's going to be, there's thunderstorms, there's lightning, there's rain, just horrible weather. So would the Brumbies stumble in the wet is the question.
Yeah, well, the Hurricanes stumbled in the wet, didn't they? But if it's hot and muggy, well, it's going to suit both teams, isn't it?
Yeah, but the Brumbies are from the mountains of Canberra, where it's cold and freezing, and they did handle the wet last week against Queensland to a point. Only because I know you've gone Brumbies, I'm going to go to the Fiji Drua. I believe in them because there's nothing better than seeing a damaged Brumby. And I think at home, and if the weather is a bit a new ground that Brumbies have never played at, I believe, before, the Drua boys have, they'll know the little nuances that happen. If you disagree with us, throw it in the comments, but I'm going to go Fiji Drua to win by 8 points. There we go.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough. And of course, then we've got the big game on the Crusaders playing the Highlanders, the return fixture after the Highlanders got that magnificent victory in round 1. So we're in round 5, and we see another, we see them play again. Right. I'll just say it. You're going to Highlanders. Correct?
Highlanders by 3, yep.
Yeah. I believe this is the last game, maybe, at Apollo Project Stadium. Can the Highlanders show up and upset the Crusaders last hurrah before they move to the new digs?
Well, put it this way: if they play like they played last week or over the weekend, and the Crusaders still haven't fallen out their problems, well, yeah, absolutely they can, and it'll just cause another outcry on social media.
Yeah. So just for that, I'm going to stick with you, and I'm going to go the blue and golds of the Highlanders, only because I've got blue and gold in my veins. So, yeah, no, I'm going to go the Highlanders to get up over the Crusaders by 5 points.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game of the round.
Yeah, a late try to Tangata. There we go. Down the corner, jumping over 12 players, getting the try. TMO says no try because you jumped a player. There we go. Let's throw out that conspiracy theory, shall we? And then in another derby, we've got the Reds taking on the Waratahs there at Suncorp at 9:30. Reds, Waratahs. I'm thinking I'm heading towards the Reds to win this, only because of the upset that the Waratahs are in. And Les Kiss has, I think, maybe found the magic oil to get these Reds running.
Reds by 6.
Oh, I think it might be more.
Mm.
Yeah, I believe they might even get up 13 plus. I think, yeah, I've got a horrible feeling that the Waratahs are in some sort of disarray. I don't know why, but hey, I could be completely and utterly wrong. And then, of course, on Sunday at 3:30, we head down to the Eden Park, back across for a Sunday afternoon game. So that means we've got to listen to all the commentators going, "Oh, how good's this afternoon rugby? Put more on then. You got 25 channels. Put all the games on at 3:30. I'd just rather watch my team play, instead of having to wait till 9, 10 o'clock at night. Put them all on at 3:30 if that's the greatest thing. From memory, weren't most games all kicked off at 2:30?
Yep.
Yeah. So, it's not like, yeah. I mean, let people, if you have the games on early, it helps the pubs at night because then everyone's out on a Saturday night enjoying themselves and having a party, right? Or drowning in sorrows. You have a game on at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 7:30. By the time the game's finished, you just want to go home because you're depressed because you had to pay $20 for a pint of beer or whatever, and just a quick shout out about the price of stuff to all those assholes that went to the Formula One last weekend and got all upset because Oscar Piastri crashed his car going to the starting line. Don't start complaining because you had to pay $30 for a hot dog.
Thanks.
Because you paid plenty to get there in the first place, okay? And 500,000 people, $30 a hot dog. I bet you that guy's laughing all the way to the bank. But anyway, so that's the Blues and the Moana Pacifica. And, of course, we've got to say the Blues are going to win by... Well, I mean, Moana beat them last year, but they had Arnie in the team.
I'll take the Blues by 15. But just on that note, I'm going to have to run because I'm pretty busy. So I thought I'd just jump on and do a quick wrap with you. But another couple of things before I go. The Ranfurly Shield challenges are locked in. North Otago and Mid Canterbury. Get your supporters together and go and turn up for some. Yeah, there it is. There. Get your spectators together. Painting the sidelines green and gold and yellow and gold, whatever.
Yeah, I've already seen the message you saying about a house in Cromwell was only $800 a week. Or was that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I've actually sent a message to the president. I think he's Mario Rendell, the president of Alexandra Rugby Club. He might even be the chairman, and I've said I'll make sure there's plenty of space in the bar because there's an army coming down. So,
definitely.
Club Rugby. Our Southern seniors had a good one over Temuka over the weekend. Albeit pre-season, it's good to get a good solid physical hit out. Shout out to Philemoni Lavaka who came over and had a chat. The big rangy South Canterbury number 6. He was there. He's still doing it at the ripe old age. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna have to shoot. But it is what it is. It's a busy time of the year.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. And as I said, literally just going to go through what's happened overseas and stuff. So thank you for joining. And of course, we'll catch up with you as we Thursday for hopefully all the team namings.
Yeah, I'll talk to you before then anyway.
Okay. Catch you later.
Thanks, mate. See you, bye.
So that was Mike joining us from down there in Ashburton. Of course, as he mentioned, the Ranfurly Shield, of course, coming up, has been announced coming up on Tuesday, the 16th of June in Dunedin. North Otago get a bite at the trophy at the famous Loggerwood. And then on Friday, the 24th of July, down there in Alexandra, which will hopefully be an awesome occasion, the Mid-Canterbury Meads Cup champions will be taking on Otago for a crack at that shield. So we move on. And, of course, now, though, we have to have a quick look at what else has been going on around the world? Oopsie daisy. And just find my notes here. Here we go. Of course, it was finals day, lifted, and the, what do you call it? The Spillane Cup trophy was on at in Napier and Hawke's Bay. And in the Homecoming Cup final, Hamilton Marist faced Hutt Old Boys Marist in quite a physical contest, with Hamilton coming out to secure the cup by 26 points to 7. And then, of course, we had the Spillane Cup final, which saw Napier Boys Marist and Hastings Rugby take out the final in an all Hawke's Bay showdown. And Napier proved too strong to take out the 2026 Spillane Cup final with a 34-24 victory. Now, the great thing is there with the, as you can see, they do name a team of the tournament. So it was a good mixture of players from all around the island. There was no South Island teams from memory in that competition. I'll just have a quick recheck of that. Of course, it's disappeared on me there, but I do have it coming along the bottom, so we'll just let that run. So Spillane Cup tournament's been going on for years. It's open to all the Marist clubs in New Zealand. So yeah, it was here we go. I knew I had it coming up somewhere. They were the teams that were there were Hamilton Marist, Taupo Marist, who we else we got there, TDS Taupo Marist Rugby, the president's team, so a couple of teams there from Taupo. Hutt Old Boys, current New Zealand Sevens champions. Napier Old Boys, Marist Rugby again. And then, of course, we have Hastings Rugby and Sports Club, who were the hosts, I believe, and Napier Pirates, who were a invitational team. So it was a good time had by all. So we now move on, though, and as I said, I am now here by my lonesome. So thank you very much to Mike for joining us for a short bit. And but we do move on to the sevens, and in the sevens, there's just absolutely nothing stopping these ladies, is there? They've just gone back to back at Vancouver, and yeah, they're just showing the world how the women can play sevens rugby. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, no, well done, Georgia Miller. She's now got over 100 tries, and she's only, what, 22? So she's got a long career ahead of her. And but yeah, no, congratulations to the Blackfern Sevens. But then as we move on, it doesn't get any, well, it does get, well, I don't know if you could say easier, but we head now to Sports Illustrated Stadium in the rugby stronghold of New York City. And the pools for here, the Black Ferns will be up against France, Fiji, and Great Britain. And on the other pool, we've got Australia, USA, Canada, and Japan. Again, every final this year in the women's competition has been played between New Zealand and Australia. So it will be interesting to see any other team really getting up. New Zealand and Australia are just miles ahead of all the other lady sides. And then, of course, in the men's pools, South Africa, they took out Vancouver. And, well, yeah, South Africa, Australia, France, and New Zealand. A bit of a pool of death there, especially after Spain's performance in Vancouver. New Zealand couldn't even beat Spain, so I can't see how they're going to beat France, Australia, and South Africa in New York. They will have to do an amazing turnaround. In Pool B, you do have Spain, who got that upset. Well, not upset anymore, is it? They beat New Zealand quite regularly. But they're up against Fiji, Argentina, and Great Britain. Poor old Great Britain, they just can't seem to buy a trick, just like New Zealand at the moment in the men's competition. But you'd have to say there probably be Fiji and Argentina go through to the Cup semi-finals. So that's something to look forward to this weekend in New York. So if you're in New York, head along and take a gander at a bit of sevens rugby. So meanwhile, Europe, we've just had the semi-finals of the European Championships, and Georgia there got up over Romania by 53 points to 30, which means they play the winner of the Spain-Portugal All-Iberian competition, and Portugal got up over Spain by 26 points to 7 in a entertaining game. So head over to Rugby Europe TV to see the full replays of that. But spotted this. It's actually in Polish. But I thought, why not? Because we are talking about Europe. But this weekend is the final, and it's Georgia taking on Portugal in Madrid. And that's going to be, I think, Monday morning New Zealand time, which is Sunday in Europe. And then, of course, in the other games, they're all being played. You know, we've got the runner-ups and also Rands. So Romania will be taking on Spain there for that 3rd and 4th place. Switzerland will be taking on Belgium, and Germany will be taking on the Netherlands. So that's going to be an exciting time. You can watch all those games from around the world on rugbyeurope.tv. Highly recommend it. You have to register, but it's free. So I'd look at getting that done as well. Six Nations, wow. So the Welsh did okay, but Ireland ended up being too strong and won 27-17. Pick that. Said Scotland would be very hard to beat in Murrayfield, and my God, we were led to a 90-point thriller with Scotland getting up by 50 points to 40. Awesome game. But then, tongue-in-cheek, last week I said, why can't Italy beat England? England are the Blues of the Northern Hemisphere. So I went for the Italians, and my golly gosh, after 33 tries, they finally got the dub over the English by 23 points to 18 at Olympic Stadium there in Rome. Huge victory. I've watched the game a couple of times, and they really sort of had that belief. England just so many mistakes, and the running joke I've seen online is that Wales wants a replay of their game against England. So, but you know it's not going to happen. But if we look at the table though, tight at the top, we've got France leading on a point differential. They've got a healthy 50 points there over the Scottish. So France take on England this weekend in Paris. It'll be interesting to see what colour jerseys the English wear, because France are wearing a special 1920s jersey to signify their first game in the Six Nations. And it's like a very light, very light sky blue colour. So they'll be taking on England, who really need to win, because Italy are travelling to Wales. Wales, if they can get up and win, unfortunately their point differential is not good. But if they can pick up the win and end up on 1-5 and are tied on 6 points with England, who could be on 1-5, the Welsh will be feeling quite happy. And then, of course, we've got Scotland taking on Ireland, and any one of these teams. So if England do beat France, Scotland or Ireland could still take out. We could have a grand final, basically, for the Six Nations. So it's come right down to the wire, and good luck to all the teams. So, but I'm going to go France to win. I'm going to go Scotland to win. And unfortunately for the Italians, I think they'll be sure they're on a high, but I think Wales will get up over Italy to break their hoodoo for this season. So because they've been so close in a couple of games, and I think they'll be just coming right now. So I'm going to go to the Welsh to pick up that victory. So also then we have a look, and of course the draw for next year has already been released for everyone that wants to get their tickets booked. And round one next season, we see, of course, Rugby World Cup year. We see Ireland taking on England, Scotland hosting Italy, and France hosting Wales. So you could possibly say there Ireland, Scotland, and France might get the run going into round two. So all that is on our Facebook page or YouTube channel or TikTok, because we are on TikTok now. So check that out. World rankings, after the weekend, England have slipped down to 6th place, with Argentina not playing but climbing to 5th place over them due to the fact England lost points, losing to the Italians. The Italians solidify their place in the top 10, just breaking away from Japan a bit more, 6-7 points ahead of them in the top 12. And then if we look at the next panel here with Portugal and United States, well, they climb due to the fact that the Portuguese beat Spain, and then of course Belgium. They climb a spot as well after their performances recently, and Hong Kong, China, who New Zealand play in the World Cup next year, have dropped to 23rd place. So as I said, we are on the old top tick, or TikTok as they say now. So been posting a few fun things on there, having a look at what we've posted over the last 30 years that we've been around anyway, or the last 12 years on YouTube, especially looking at our highest viewing stuff that people enjoy, and so we're sharing that over to TikTok and maybe even reposting it on YouTube. So keep an eye out on that. If you're on the YouTube, or you didn't know we had the YouTube, head on over there, click the old subscribe button so you don't miss any of our rants, because hey, we're only beginning the club season here in New Zealand, and I'm still awaiting a lot of draws to come out, but we will have a special club episode to sort of go through all the club draws around Aotearoa later in the season. So I think that is pretty much us done and dusted for the day until Thursday. So I'd like to thank Mike for joining us on the show today, and we'll be back on Thursday with all the team lineups and maybe fantasy picks for the fantasy rugby. Otherwise, again, head over to TikTok, head over to Instagram, head over to YouTube, head to our Facebook page as well, and click like, subscribe, and all those other amazing things people like to do. So until Thursday, this is Rabs signing off, and I'll just find the button to click and say catch us all on Thursday for more Super Rugby team news. Catch us later. Thanks for watching.